I'm Michela.
I'm Brylie. I'm Kendall. I'm Jaclyn.
I'm Collin, and representing
10 Days to Sacramento.
Howdy, folks. I'm Sam Hamilton, Pony Express rider, and that there is Johnny Pratt, Pony Express rider, taking the oath administered to all employees of the Central Overland and California Pikes Peak Expressway.
I, Johnny Fry, promise to never use profane language, drink no intoxicating liquor, to never fight or quarrel with other employees, conduct myself honestly, and be faithful in all duties to gain the confidence of my employees and God.
Thus began the Pony Express. The year is 1860. Gold was just discovered in California. With all the influx of people, California had just become a state. The South was talking succession.
The United States in 1860 was a nation of 30 states, 27 of them which lay east of the Missouri River. The only way to travel these 2,000 miles was by ship, stagecoach, or covered wagon, or horseback.
The growing population in California of businessmen, prospectors, inventors, and farmers were clamoring for a faster mail service. And Congress was under pressure with the threat of war to establish faster communication with California.
To ensure its sympathies and resources stay with the Union.
These took from 4 weeks to 3 months. These circumstances opened up the way for the firm of Russell, Majors, and Waddell to step on the stage of history and establish what became known as the Pony Express.
These men were prominent owners of the most profitable freighting company in the West. They were respected for their trustworthiness, fairness, and good judgment.
Let us introduce to you these exceptional men.
Alexander Majors, the trail-wise manager of the firm.
William Waddell, he is responsible for seeing the financial affairs are running smoothly.
And William Russell, the optimistic, high-stakes deal maker of the company from Washington, D.C.
About time you got back. What's up with this telegram we received? Pony Express to Sacramento, California, commencing 3rd of April. Time, 10 days.
Thanks for the hearty welcome. Well, gentlemen, I was approached by Senator Gwynn from California. Now keep in mind, he's the chairman of the committee to establish a mail route from Missouri to California. He said we have been highly recommended as the men to establish this pony relay between St. Joseph, Missouri and Sacramento with mail delivery of 10 days. I gave him my word that we were the men to implement this grand endeavor.
Really? You gave your word?
Yes.
I'm not afraid to tell you. I'm very skeptical of this outrageous plan of yours to carry mail by horseback 2,000 miles across deserts, mountains, and plains, facing blizzards and hostile Indians in 10 days. 10 days.
Russell, I do agree that we have the manpower, 6,000 men employed, and 75,000 oxen and wagons already established. But my question is, where is this money going to come from?
We will have to financially back the project in the beginning.
I knew it, I knew it.
Now, William, take it easy. Senator Gwynn assured me that we would get the government contract. Besides, the Pony Express will not be a long-term agreement, just until the telegraph lines are run. Plus, with South threatening war, I wholeheartedly believe it is our patriotic duty to keep lines of communication open to the West and help in any way we can to save California for the Union.
Well, we'll have to get busy supplying more relay stations and buying horses. Only the best was our key to success.
Well then, we'll have to hire station masters and riders, and I'm telling you right now, I'll have none of those worthless gunslingers hang around town working for me.
Well then, since we're in agreement, let's get busy. We have no time to waste.
Russell, Majors, and Waddell did the unthinkable. In just 2 months, they were ready to step on the stage of history. I began the first legendary ride on April 3rd, 1860, as the crowd was waiting as I threw the Michela on my horse. Amidst bands and cannons and an excitement and a throng of onlookers, as I jumped on my horse, reared to full height, swung my hat, yelling yippee, and was ready to get on the ferry to carry me across the Missouri and the plains of Kansas.
The race was on.
I rode the first 80 miles from my home station in Seneca, Kansas, where I changed the horses 4 times in 6 hours and 25 minutes. 3 times faster than the California mail has ever been carried.
Having the privilege of being the first rider out of Sacramento, I knew this was going to be a test for a horse and rider. The roads were ankle-deep in mud and the storm was brewing in the Sierras, but we knew the model well.
Mail first, horse second, and me third.
By sheer determination, the mail from the West was delivered in 9 days and 23 minutes.
The Pony Express has made its name in history. Although the Pony Express only lasted 2 months, it heralded as the greatest enterprise in modern times.
Let's... The days of the Pony Express are drawing to a close as the telegraph poles start to dot the horizon.
Let's listen in as Russell Majors and Waddell reminisce about the major triumphs of the Pony Express.
When General Sumner wrote, "The Pony Express has made a contribution greatly appreciated by California," I felt we'd been right to start the Pony Express.
I know the West was greatly appreciative of receiving the news of Lincoln's election and presidency in record time.
If it weren't for the ponies carrying the news of firing on Fort Sumter, the war could have been raging for 3 months before the West knew anything about it.
Let me remind you of the conspiracy by John D. Floyd, former Secretary of War, was foiled because of our fast delivery of the message to the governor, stopping those 50,000 muskets he ordered to be sent to Southern conspirators in California to save California for the Union.
I would have to say the greatest accomplishment, in my opinion, was getting Lincoln's inaugural address to the West in 7 days and 17 hours. Lincoln's strong words of encouragement for the preservation of the Union for California's deciding factor to stay in the Union.
It also helped in communicating between the East and West and getting military dispatches so quickly. And let's not forget the ordinary people that just wanted to hear the news of home and family.
The riders deserve most of the credit. They endured hardships and dangers over each mile they rode, carrying 35,000 letters on 306 trips over a distance of 616,000 miles.
It was a great feat of bravery, adventure, and determination.
The Pony Express accomplished all it was to accomplish and more, only it made no money. Gentlemen, we are so far in debt we can never recover.
God help our families.
The government contract the investors were hoping for never came through.
How could such a remarkable endeavor as the Pony Express, which is, if it never even happened, could have led to a change in the tablet of history, and led to these patriotic, honest, and trustworthy men to lose all their hard-earned money and lead to the most tragic events in their lives?
I was leery of the venture from the beginning, but I knew it was my destiny to help my country in its time of need and help secure the Union. I returned to my home in Lexington, Missouri, and never entered business again. I was ashamed to show my face. My wife left me, and my son was killed defending a slave. My home was raided many times. I had to sell my land, for I could not pay my taxes. I died April 1885 at the age of 65.
I tried to go on with my life, but with having no money, every endeavor I tried was unsuccessful. I moved from town to town. I tried prospecting, and that is where Buffalo Bill Cody found me, alone in an old mining cabin. I died alone and was returned to St. Joseph, Missouri for my burial.
It was my fault. I talked them into it. I had to live with that knowledge. I was only 48 years old. How could those who had once heralded me as a great financial wizard now refuse to even see me? I was broken and humiliated. I was reduced from wealth and prestige to living in shabby boarding houses, selling Texana, a patent medicine that claimed to cure all ills. I could never live down my shame. I was buried in Missouri at the age of 60, alone and destitute.
If only these men could know the impact they had on American history, or how the legend still lives on today.
The Pony Express, ended on October 26, 1861, is the magnetic click of the telegraph replaced the melodious beats of the pony's hooves. The Pony Express had experienced great triumph of delivering the mail across the country in just 10 days, but ensued great tragedy for Russell, Majors, and Waddell, who lost all their hard-earned earnings out of the patriotic duty of our country.